Hey everyone, and welcome to AMC Movie Talk. Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm Crystal Kennedy, and this is the show where we bring you the day's biggest movie news, and we give you insight into what it all means. Basically, our job is to make sure that you know more about movie news than any of your friends.
Than anyone.
Anyone. You'll know it all. Joining me, as always, is AMC Movie News Senior Editor, Mr. John Campea.
Good morning, Crystal. Greetings and salutations, folks. Hey, listen, I know every day I kind of introduce myself a little bit differently. I'm going to start something new. I'm going to try it for a week and see if it's good or see if it's stupid. So help me out. I get a lot of tweets from you guys. You guys have been tweeting me a lot of stuff, and some of it is really funny. So here's what I'm going to do. For the next week, at least, I'm going to start off every show after Crystal Lee introduces me. I'm going to say my greetings and salutations, and then I'm going to read John's favorite tweet of the day. So make it funny, and if you can make it related to something we talked about on the show the day before, even better. I'll pick out one tweet. You can tweet me at John Campea, and I'll start the show saying, greetings and salutations, John's favorite tweet of the day is this, and I'll read your tweet on air. So I'm going to try that for a week. Maybe this is a really stupid idea, but we're going to give it a shot.
Could be very dangerous.
Could be dangerous.
Also in the studio today, joining us is the director of the upcoming film, The Death of Superman Lives. What happened, Mr. John Schnepp?
What's going on, everybody? Hey to everybody from Florida SuperCon. Good to see everybody, all the AMC fans. What's up?
All right, it's a project that has had many ups and downs, as in any Hollywood history, but it looks like all things are a go for the sequel to one of the most beloved comedies in history, Dumb and Dumber 2. We reported a few weeks back that although Warner Brothers has dropped the project, Universal quickly swooped in to pick it up. Actor Jeff Daniels was just on the Jimmy Fallon show and confirmed that all things are a go. When asked about the sequel, Daniels said the following: "Yep, it looks like we're starting in September. I've seen the script, it's hysterical. We're middle-aged. We're not pretending we aren't. We're middle-aged, and we're still that stupid." John, what do you think of Daniel's comments?
Awesomeness. This is a big cake of awesome covered in a delicious, awesome sauce. I mean, this is great. And you know, the really great thing about Jeff Daniels, I think I mentioned this on the show maybe about a month or two ago. I've been watching that show on HBO Go of his, that new one, Newsroom. I just finished watching the full first season. I really like it. It's kind of its own ripoff of West Wing, but whatever. So I love the show, and I love his character on it. But I remember thinking, this is the same guy from Dumb and Dumber. And I think now watching a Dumb and Dumber 2, juxtaposed against all this great dramatic stuff that Jeff Daniels does now, is going to be so great. I love that he loves the script. I love that they're moving forward with it. It is. There has been a lot of drama surrounding between Jim Carrey not wanting to do it, wanting to do it, not wanting to do it. Then everybody's on board, and then Warner Brothers says, no, we're dropping the whole thing. Then Universal says, no, we'll do it. Now Jeff Daniels says, yep, we're shooting in September, and it looks like they're going to release next summer. They're going to shoot, edit, post everything this film in like 7 months and have it in theater. So I'm really looking forward to it. The Farley brothers have not been on a hot streak, to say the least. I'm hoping this will be their return to form, and I'm really looking forward to it. Schnepp, what do you think?
Yeah, I cannot wait. I'm so excited. Just that line that Daniel said, "and we're still that stupid," just made me bust out laughing, because I can't wait to see them be that stupid again. So I'm way over the moon, completely excited to see it. Bring next year now. So.
Yes.
As most of you will remember, Vin Diesel recently took to his Facebook page to announce he had an upcoming meeting with the folks at Marvel. This all fueled the speculation that Diesel would be joining the Marvel Universe as character Vision, since a few months earlier, Diesel changed his Facebook profile picture to that of the Marvel superhero, then quickly removed it. Diesel once again posted to his Facebook page following his meeting and said the following: "Marvel meeting today," Diesel writes. "Only the people in the room can tell you what was discussed. P.S. Thanks to our page for pushing to make it happen. You know I get tunnel vision with my work, and after that meeting today, wow." Vin also posted this picture coming out of his meeting that you can see here. The picture has some people speculating that he's hinting he'll be playing Giant Man, who is featured prominently in the poster. John, does Diesel's post give us any hints to who he'll be?
You know, this is what we as film fans do. We try to look for the hidden meaning in everything. Oh, look, the poster he's standing in front of has Giant Man in it. Therefore, he must be Giant Man. Now, look, if I wanted to be really, if I wanted to be one of these guys who subscribes to the whole idea of cryptic messages and everything the celebrities say, I would say it's more likely that he's going to be Vision, because in his statement he says, I've kind of got tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't mean I really think it, but that coupled with the fact that he did change his profile picture a while ago to Vision, I look, if I had to put my money, I'd say Vision, but it's just as likely that he's going to be somebody completely different that we have no idea who. If I had to put money on it today, I'd probably say it'll probably be Vision, but I'm not willing to put money on that. Schnepp, how do you see it?
If I had to put 98 nothings, I'm going to say he's the perfect Vision. He would be the perfect Vision. He even looks like the Vision. He talks like a robot. What do you mean? This is just my normal voice. He already sounds like the Vision. Slap him with red paint or green paint, or they can make him ghosty looking. He looks like the Vision. So when I heard that he might be Giant Man, I was like, come on, no way. I don't want Giant Man. That's just like, I mean, I'm more interested in Ant-Man than Giant Man. At least Giant Man is just like, look, I'm just a normal dude who just grew like 5 times bigger. Then I'm not running around and stuff. It's like that's all the bad problems of a superhero movie. We're like, where's Giant Man? He's in the airplane hangar. Where else could he be? He can't fit in a normal meeting room.
He ain't at the McDonald's.
I'm Giant Man. Yeah, it's like he causes all the problems. That Ant-Man is like, he's right here. He's in my mouth. It's like he's not a problem to carry around. Him and Wasp are both inside both your ears while you're running, talking to you and telling you what to do. Anyway, I hope he's the Vision. That would be amazing.
I'm just excited that he's going to be in it, period.
All right, folks, listen, we've reached that part of the show for buy or sell. Here's how this works. In front of her, Crystal Lee's got a bunch of other items in the world of movie news. She's going to run them down, and then Schnepp and I are simply going to say whether we buy it or sell it. So, Crystal Lee, what do we got?
The first trailer for the upcoming film Lovelace has hit the web. The movie, based on the true story, is set to open in AMC theaters everywhere on August 9th and stars Amanda Seyfried, Peter Sarsgaard, Sharon Stone, Juno Temple, Wes Bentley, Hank Azaria, Chris Noth, Robert Patrick, James Franco, Eric Roberts, and Sarah Jessica Parker.
That's quite a cast.
That's a big one. In 1972, before the internet, before the porn explosion, Deep Throat was a phenomenon. The first scripted pornographic theatrical feature film featuring a story, some jokes, and an unknown and unlikely star, Linda Lovelace. Escaping a strict religious family, Linda discovered freedom and the high life when she fell for and married charismatic hustler Chuck Traynor. As Linda Lovelace, she became an international sensation, less centerfold fantasy than a charming girl next door. Fully inhabiting her new identity, Linda became an enthusiastic spokesperson for sexual freedom and uninhibited hedonism. 6 years later, she presented another utterly contradictory narrative to the world, and herself as the survivor of a far darker story. Schnepp, buy or sell the trailer for Lovelace?
I buy it. It looks great. It looks like I mean, not to trivialize Boogie Nights, but it has that flavor of Boogie Nights.
I was going to say the same thing.
But, honestly, Deep Throat was a movie that transformed a lot of people. I myself was touched by the movie. And I think
great choice of words.
Amanda is visually a little prettier than the actual Linda Lovelace, at least in my opinion. Right. So, and she's just the way she's playing this character, she's inhabiting this almost kind of like a mix between Roller Girl and Patty Hearst or something like that, So it's sort of, I'm really excited to see the film and how they're going to try to portray her life, which was, somewhat tragic, to be honest with you. I know they're playing it up in this like the fun beginning version part of the porn, saga, but then her life definitely turned dark. So, but man, I can't wait to see this movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and you look at guys like Peter Sarsgaard, who I think is wonderful. He's so cool. And James Franco, I believe he's playing Hugh Hefner, if I'm not mistaken, in the film. But Linda Lovelace, also known as Linda Borman, was her real name. Her story, I am always fascinated by stories about people who go from one extreme to the other. So whether it's a movie about a Democrat who becomes a Republican, or about a guy who hates kids to adopting 500 kids, to somebody like this who became like the voice and the face of the sexual revolution and the mainstreaming of pornography, to becoming a very outspoken anti-pornography person. And it doesn't matter which side of the fence you fall on. I just find these stories about these people who go from one extreme of their lives to the other, I always find these fascinating. And you're right, her portrayal looks amazing. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
It's finally here. The new Guillermo del Toro film Pacific Rim opens in AMC theaters everywhere this week. This week, our friend Steve Weintraub had a chance to talk with the star of the film, Charlie Hunnam, who also stars in TV's Sons of Anarchy, and asked him about his first experience watching the film. Hunnam said the following: "I haven't seen it in a theater yet. I watched it on a pretty big screen, like a 50-inch screen in Guillermo's office on the Warner Brothers back lot, and I just came out feeling this overwhelming sense of the first time ever actually being a part of Hollywood, like big Hollywood filmmaking at its best. The sun was shining, I was on the Warner Brothers lot, which is the coolest lot of them all, and I came out and I thought, holy crap, that's a real slice of Hollywood. I had no doubt that all of the monsters fighting and the kaiju Jaeger battles were going to be epic and exciting and ferocious and all of that. But what I was really taken with was how well the human story worked, and more so than any of that, just how detailed and immersive the world that Guillermo has created. I really felt that I was transported to another world, you know?" John, buy or sell Hunnam's thoughts on Pacific Rim?
I buy him because he says something that really is something I've been looking forward to the most. You look at Guillermo del Toro's films, and there is spectacle in all of them, whether you're looking at Pan's Labyrinth or even Hellboy. But where the genius of these films lies is not in the creature design and is not in the spectacle stuff. It's in the human stories that Guillermo is able to tell in the midst of all of this. Like the story of Pan's Labyrinth is one of my all-time favorite, just pure fantasy stories about this little girl and stuff. That's where the real genius of it is. A lot of us will talk about, the fauna and talk about the creatures and the magical design, but really it's a human story at its core. I said on the show yesterday, the best parts of Hellboy and Hellboy 2 are the little human interactions, are when Hellboy and Abe are just sitting down drinking together and telling their stories and talking to. That's the best part. Del Toro, almost better than any other filmmaker, is the best in this business at putting these really human stories in the midst of the fantastical. And hearing Hunnam say that, saying that's the real, that just affirms to me that this movie's going to be awesome. So for me, it's absolute buy. Schnepp?
Yeah, I buy it. I can't wait to see this movie. I don't want to even hear any more about it. I almost want to just go to sleep and wake up in the theater. But yeah, him saying that about the human element being present in the film and working is basically something that I'm hoping is there when I see the film. So I want to care about what's happening. I know the battles between the robots and the monsters are going to be incredible.
They're going to look great, yeah.
But I want to care about it. So I'm hoping that that's what we're going to see in the next couple days. And I want to see Del Toro on a bike in Sons of Anarchy. They better,
right?
They better get him in a cameo. You got Hellboy is in it.
King.
Yeah,
come on. In a cameo. You can
now you
have
got
Guillermo.
both of these guys who are in Pacific Rim.
He can be like one of the Mayans. He can be like the head of one of the Mayan chapters.
Come on, guy who runs Sons of Anarchy.
Kurt Sutter.
Sutter.
Come on, Sutter.
Sutter, do it.
I'm excited to see Charlie Hunnam outside of Sons of Anarchy because we all love him as Jax, but to see him in a movie like this is going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
The new Captain America, The Winter Soldier hits AMC theaters everywhere on April 4th, 2014, and has just released this teaser poster. The story picks up where Marvel's The Avengers left off as Steve Rogers struggles to embrace his role in the modern world and teams up with Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow, to battle a powerful yet shadowy enemy in present-day Washington, D.C. Schnepp, buy or sell this new Captain America, The Winter Soldier poster?
I unfortunately have to sell it. I saw it and I honestly was not blown away by it. The only thing, upon thinking about it a little bit more, was that it shows the tarnished, battered shield, which means there's going to be a lot of trouble for Captain America. But honestly, as it's as a teaser poster, it just didn't zing me. I was like, look, yeah, it didn't tease me enough. I was like, okay, there's a battered, blown out shield.
I have to buy this and buy it huge, actually. I'm a huge fan of, especially early on for teaser stuff, I'm a huge fan of single image metaphors. Like, here's a great example. There was this one book, and I can't remember the name of it, and if you guys know the one I'm talking about, leave it in the comments section. But it was a story about this young, innocent girl who some really terrible crap happens to, and she ends up basically later in life on the wrong side of the tracks because of it. And the cover, it was just this picture of a really pretty flower, slightly wilted, with one of the petals kind of torn off. And when you just look at that single image metaphor, it's like, this tells the story. And when I look at a poster like this one, with, as Schnepp was describing it, the shield so proud, so strong, but it's battered and it's worn. There's so many different images that go through my head about the meaning of it. And I love this type of stuff, especially, like I said, early on when it's in its teaser phase. I love the imagery of it myself personally, so for me, it's a buy.
I'm with Schnepp. There was nothing teasing about that teaser poster.
No, but I mean, definitely the metaphor is there. I just want a little bit more.
Right.
The first official photo for the upcoming Saving Mr. Banks has hit the web. The film stars Tom Hanks, Emma Thompson, Colin Farrell, and Paul Giamatti. When Walt Disney's daughters begged him to make a movie of their favorite book, P.L. Travers' Mary Poppins, he made them a promise, one that he didn't realize would take 20 years to keep. In his quest to obtain the rights, Walt comes up against a curmudgeonly, uncompromising writer who has absolutely no intention of letting her beloved magical nanny get mauled by the Hollywood machine. But as the book stops selling and money grows short, Travers reluctantly agrees to go to Los Angeles to hear Disney's plan for the adaptation. For those 2 short weeks in 1961, Walt Disney pulls out all the stops. Armed with imaginative storyboards and chirpy songs from the talented Sherman Brothers, Walt launches an all-out onslaught on P.L. Travers. But the prickly author doesn't budge. He soon begins to watch helplessly as Travers becomes increasingly immovable and the rights begin to move further away from his grasp. John, buy or sell Saving Mr. Banks?
Buy. There's so much I love about this story. Because number one, first of all, you've got, this is heavyweight champion talent in this. When you're talking about Paul Giamatti and you're talking about, obviously, the great Tom Hanks and you're talking about Emma Thompson. I mean, this is the best of the best in one movie. This is incredible. But the story of Disney, too. And look, I love stories. One of the reasons I love Social Network so much is because it's something I'm familiar with and I know, but hearing how it really came about and the idea about this all-knowing, this beloved story that all of us watched as kids, this Mary Poppins movie, hearing how it really came about and the drama that went into just making it happen, I'm completely sold. And this picture looks fantastic. It's like this picture sums up everything about the movie because you see Tom Hanks as Walt Disney kind of, hey, you know, he's really trying to sell something. And you see Emma Thompson looking stone cold. I just love this picture. I love the sounds of this movie. I cannot wait for it. Absolute buy. Schnepp?
Yeah, full buy for me too. I can't wait for it. It's these are the kind of movies that I like too. The behind the scenes stories of how one of the movies that changed your life when you were a kid, here's how it really happened. So yeah, I can't wait to see it. And what a great cast.
This is going to be great. All right, folks, listen, we've reached that part of the show called Mailbag. If you've got a topic or question you'd like us to address on the show, email us at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Now, every day we take a couple of questions, but also on the weekends we have our AMC Mailbag show where all we do is take mailbag questions. So send them in. Maybe we'll get to it on AMC Movie Talk. Maybe we'll get to it on AMC Mailbag. Just send them in. Let's see how it works out. But right now, Chrisley's got a few messages pulled out of the mailbag. So, Chrisley, what do we have?
Marcus writes, Campea for president.
Woo! I'm Canadian.
So my question...
For now.
This week. So my question is, Avengers, does it actually need to eventually be rebooted? They've just scratched the surface of the Marvel Universe in Stage 1 and Stages 2, and 3 will certainly not be enough to cover all potential storylines. Why not just wait until one cast member decides they don't want to do it anymore and simply recast them again and again? Meaning we don't have to sit through another origin story like The Amazing Spider-Man, a movie which I still enjoyed but found the repeated origin very tedious. I mean, we all warmed to Mark Ruffalo straight away, and the James Bond franchise has been going now for 50 years using this formula.
Marcus, I think you are absolutely right. Now, this was in response to something Amy Rose and I were talking about on the show the other day, because Amy Rose said, you know, eventually they're going to have to reboot Avengers. But you raise a great point. Why? Why do we have to reboot Avengers? Now, one of the reasons you might have to eventually is because even in the comic book universe, right, even in the comics, they start overlapping their own logic a lot and contradicting their own continuity and all stuff. And so you see all the time, all right, well, we reboot it. Or we'll have different versions, especially X-Men is big on this, where you see, we'll have 5 different X-Men stories going at once.
Yeah,
and
splinter universes.
Yes, all that kind of stuff to try to make up for it. In the movie world, you reboot to make up for that. But I love what you're suggesting, the James Bond formula. You don't have to make all the Avengers stuff one big, long, continuous story. At some point, end the story, and then just have the next Avengers movie just be the next Avengers adventure. And swap in the actors here and there when you need to, much like they've done with James Bond. I think you've hit the nail on the head. I don't think that's the only way to do it, but I love the idea personally. Schnepp, what do you think about it?
Yeah, that's one way to go. I mean, I'd like it to go that way, but here's another way. Start phase A. So you already have like phase 1, 2, and 3. Now begin phase A,
Phase A.
which is like a complete reboot of the Avengers, but it's a comedy world universe. So it's like Dumb and Dumber, but with the Avengers. So that's phase A. And then immediately follow that with phase 1.1.
Yeah.
And that's like a hard, like kind of gritty, weird, like Frank Miller world, but it's the Avengers. So you just start making all these variant worlds and just start, hey, we got Splinter Spider-Man, only it's Carnage. Just starts out as Carnage. We don't even know why. So that's one weird way to do it, right, guys?
And they should start really soon, right?
You should start tomorrow,
right?
I think, with all of the universes. New phases is what I'm saying. It's called the new phase.
Phase 1.
Perfect.
Phase 11.
Bruce Williams writes, my original comment on YouTube is, John Campea, you are a director, producer, screenwriter, and film journalist, and it seems that you know your comics. Not to be rude, but why the hell aren't you working with either Marvel Studios or DC Entertainment? Obviously, you know more than the schmucks at Warner Brothers, and probably some of the people involved at Marvel. Nonetheless, is it that you don't want to, or that these companies won't have you? What's up? Also, 37 people thumbs up this question, so answer it on AMC Movie Talk.
Well, if 37 people thumbs up the question and I haven't okay, look, the reason I'm going to answer this question is because of the thing you brought up, which is it gets brought up a lot in film fan world, saying you are smarter or so-and-so smarter or I'm smarter, whatever, than the dummies at Paramount or the stupid people at Warner Brothers or whatever. You know what? I'm going to tell a story, and this kind of highlights the fact that, you know what, as much as we as films like to, yeah, down with the man, really, these studios are run by some very smart people who do a much better job doing what they, now every once in a while they make a really stupid decision, but we see that and we forget to look at the, you know, the 2,000 great decisions they made behind it. Here's true story, okay? So it was just before I started working for AMC. That I got a call. I had a buddy of mine working at one of the studios, not one of the big four, like not Paramount, Fox, Disney, or Universal, but it was a studio whose name you would recognize. I had a good friend of mine working at one of these studios, and he gave me a call one day and said, hey, so-and-so, one of the presidents at the studio wants a meeting with you. Do you want to come down and meet with them? So I'm like, yeah, I'm not one. I'm still one of these starstruck kids. I still can't believe I get to work in the movie world. So I was like, what? A studio person wants to meet me? Yeah, and I thought it was the greatest thing ever. So he said, all right, come on down Wednesday at whatever. So okay, fine. So I go to the studio, and I go in, and I had met this president once before at like one of their movie premieres. So I go in and sit down with them, and you have to understand, it wasn't too long before this that Time magazine did that one article on me and a couple other guys about the growing influence of online film pundits, and you know that they had a big picture of me in a Jedi outfit. It was really weird, but I guess they were kind of enamored with that idea. So I go and I sit down with the studio president, and they're like, okay, so he wasn't offering me anything. He's just, I just had this idea, and I want to throw it by you, and I just want to see what we come up with. I'm like, okay, hit me. What's going on? He said, okay, so you guys, talking about me and other film pundits in the online world, he goes, you guys are really quite in touch. You're interacting every day with film fans. He goes, what if, you know, we created a position in the studio that's like, you have input onto the scripts that we're moving up the chain about how you think it would be received. Now, notice he said input. He didn't say actually any decision-making ability whatsoever. Nobody's that stupid to give me that kind of authority. And said, you know, we give you input into what, and not being our PR person, but kind of being our direct representative to the other online guys in the film world. So not our PR person. It's kind of like a new thing. Just kind of be like our open line of communication with the other guys in the online film world running these movie sites. He said, you know, so we talked about it for about an hour, and I listed the reasons why I think it could work and why I think it couldn't work and all that kind of stuff. And it was a good conversation, and we left it at that. And I ultimately didn't accept anything, and they ultimately didn't offer anything, but it was a really good thing. But it just shows that we kind of think in the movie film fan world that these studios are just all old school. They don't think outside the box or whatever. And that one meeting kind of shows, you know what? These smart guys at these studios are constantly trying to think of new ways to be better. And they're trying to explore different ideas, and they're trying to do new things. Now, ultimately, they got to be practical and fall back to what does work. But they are, trust me, these guys are constantly trying to explore new ideas and new ways of doing things. Now, you ask me, why am I not working for Marvel Studios or DC Entertainment? I think the real question is, why is this guy not working for Marvel and DC. This is a real filmmaker. So, like what's going on, Schnepp? Why do you keep snubbing WB? Why do you keep snubbing Marvel?
What's your problem?
You think you're better than everybody else?
I guess I'm kind of floating on my own cloud. Hey, look, Warner Brothers, come at me. I'm ready to rock some stuff. Marvel, you know where I'm at. Bring it. I'm right here. I'm ready to rock.
Are you ready for Marvel Phase A.1?
That's right. Coming at you, son, with like weird spider crawl creatures. Phase 11, you know? So.
All right, folks. Well, that'll do for us. We've run out of time today. Thank you so much for joining us. Hey, listen, I want to remind you once again, Comic-Con is next week. And if you're coming down to San Diego for Comic-Con, if you're going to be in the San Diego area, two big things. Number one, we've got our annual Masters of the Web panel. This year, a special horror theme where I've got some of the webmasters of some of the best horror-related sites on the internet, and some of the best minds from those sites going to be there. I'm so excited to have them all on the panel. And the director and the writer from the upcoming Lionsgate horror film, You're Next, which is being called by some dudes one of the scariest films in years, are also going to be on the panel with us. Come down and join us. We're going to be in room 24 ABC at the Convention Center, obviously, on the Thursday morning. Now, on the Thursday evening, come and meet all of us. We're going to have an AMC Movie Talk meet and greet on the first floor near the bar of the Omni Hotel, which is right across the street from the Convention Center. Dennis is going to be there. Schnepp's going to be there. Chris Lee, me, Amy Rose, Clark, Brooke, Gray Drake's going to be there. We're going to be there hanging out from 7 till 8:30 in the evening. Come on down, meet us, say hi, let's have a drink and talk movies and about how different ways that Christian Bale may come back as Batman.
Yeah, I mean, you know how you guys like to imagine that we all hang out? Because we all do hang out and have drinks and have dinner and stuff.
Now you can be with us.
You can be with us and hang out and be part of this crazy movie conversation. You know, stop emailing about us. You know, like, it would be so great to hang out with all of you and talk about Batman. Now you can do it.
So come on down and meet us there. Hey, listen, don't forget, click on the subscribe button. Become a subscriber to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. Click the thumbs up button. Like this video. That's your best way to support us. And listen, lots of great movies playing in AMC theaters right now. Head on over to www.amctheaters.com for your theater, showtime, and movie ticket information. You know what? You can even get your advance tickets for Pacific Rim, which opens in just a couple of days. So I want to thank, as always, the very lovely Miss Chris Lee Kennedy. Chris Lee, where can people find you online?
You guys can find me on Twitter. Support me through that horror part, because I'm scared.
She's very scared of horror films. I can't get her to watch horror films.
Tweet me your support during Comic-Con.
Also, the one and the only Mr. John Schnepp. John, where can people find you online?
I'm just at John Schnepp on Twitter, so come and join me, and I'll be tweeting all from Comic-Con, so it'll be pretty fun. I'm doing crazy Vines. Follow me on Vine as well. I'm making weird sound effects all the time on Vine.
And you can follow me on Twitter. Don't forget, send me your tweet. Make it funny. Make it something to do with one of the news stories we talked about today. And tomorrow I'll read off my John's favorite tweet of the day. So until next time, my name's John Campea. Bye-bye.